So why are you being ghosted? You're applying for jobs, you're not hearing back, and you're taking it personally. And I want to do this video as your sign to not take it personally. Look, the reason you're being ghosted or feel like you're being ghosted is because there's just too many people applying. It's nothing personal. It's not your fault. It's not your resume, your CV. It doesn't look bad. Well, that's debatable, but roll with me on this. If you have experience and you're applying for jobs and you're thinking, well, hang on, I should be getting callbacks. You should be. You're right. But the market is broken. So there's too many people applying, market saturation, which I talked about in my previous videos, but that's the reason you're not getting callbacks. These companies are inundated with resumes. You have automation tools now creating CVs every 5 seconds. You have thousands of people applying for jobs on the same day, and you're getting a rejection email, and you're sometimes not hearing anything back. But worse than that, it's affecting you personally. You're starting to feel that it's you. And I'm here to tell you it's not you, it's the market. And please believe me when I say that. There are things you can do to battle this, but I want to create a video that does not affect your confidence in a negative way. I want you to think about your job search holistically. If you set out a job advert or an advert on any classified or non-classified type of website, and you were inundated with 5,000 inquiries, you probably would only have limited time in a day to read 5 or 10 of those inquiries quite realistically. You wouldn't sit through 5,000 or 10,000 or 25,000 applications or messages. And that's what's happening to you right now, but from a company's perspective. Now, I don't want you to feel like, oh, let's all feel bad for these companies. I'm sure you probably have very limited empathy for them, and quite rightly, they had to do something better to handle this problem, and they're not. They're using ATS systems, they're using recruitment agencies, they're ignoring most of you. And worse yet, they're using a system to kind of tell you, hey, yeah, unfortunately, you haven't been successful. It's not you, it's us, but it's actually you. But we haven't actually read your resume. That's realistically what's happening. So, yes, you are being ghosted, but you're not being ghosted by an actual human being. You're being ghosted by software. And for you to stick out from the crowd, you need to deal with more humans. Now, the more humans that know that you exist, the more likely you will actually get human eyeballs on your profile. And I don't just mean your resume, I mean your LinkedIn. I mean a message you send. So if you reach out to somebody who's doing the job you want to do, and you get them to give you a piece of advice, and you get them to give you a recommendation, not a referral yet, but a recommendation of who to reach out to, you have a much better chance to actually be seen. And the biggest issue is you're not seen. So if you're not networking, if you're not doing outreach, if you're not having conversations with real people, you are behind all the people that are. And it's a very small group of people that are. And then you see this on LinkedIn. You see those people that have an offer or multiple offers, or they post, hey, I just got a job at this amazing company. And you start to think, well, how did they not get ghosted? Why are they better than me? Are they better than me? And they're probably not better than you. They're just good at reaching out to people or sticking out from the crowd. So when you feel that ghosting element where somebody hasn't come back to you, you have to take full responsibility, but in a positive way. Don't feel bad where you start to think, I'm not good enough, things aren't going to go my way, these companies don't want to hire me. That's not the case. That's negative talk. That's the bad voice in your head that's telling you these things. You have to ignore that voice. Let's take the logical, pragmatic approach and the logical voice that says to you, well, you just haven't been seen. They haven't ghosted you. They just have too much stuff to go through. They have too many applicants to go through. And it's really important that you make that distinction, because if you go for the previous bad voice and you double down on that, you're going to apply less, you're going to feel bad, you're going to have that salty feeling that nobody wants to hire you, they don't want anything to do with you, and then you're going to change your job approach, and then it's going to go down this approach where you're going to do a job you don't want to do, you're going to join a company that's not going to be the right fit, and then before you know it, it's 2027, and you're going to think, you know what, I'm going to try and get that job that I wanted to, and you're going to waste a year. So don't be that person. Take the pragmatic approach of understanding why you haven't been invited for an interview. Or if you have been invited for an interview, why you haven't been called back for the final stage interview. And it's not that you're just being ghosted because you're not good enough. It's because you have to change your approach. There is a company out there for you that wants to hire you that you would be the perfect fit for. Whether you have experience or don't have experience, that's irrelevant. Companies right now are hiring people based on their personalities. Companies are hiring people based on if they're going to be a good fit for the team. Companies are hiring people that they believe will grow within the role, even if there's no experience. So if that's you, then you have a chance, but you have to become more visible. So the next time you feel, I'm ghosted, no, you just haven't done enough to be visible. So think about that when you make applications. You can make normal applications or you can create high quality applications. Now, high quality applications are really good to do because you can actually email hiring managers as you make an application, asking them a question, which increases visibility, which decreases being ghosted. You could connect to somebody doing the job that's been hired 6 months ago, and you can ask them about the interview process. You can then ask them who the hiring manager is, and then you can get them to recommend you to that hiring manager. That increases the visibility and the eyeballs on your profile. That decreases being ghosted. So when you're ghosted, think of it like a signal. Okay, I'm just not doing enough. Yes, you might have applied for 500 jobs on a Monday, and kudos to you if you have the time and energy to do that. But bad news is you're probably going to be ghosted for 499 of those jobs because of market saturation. Now, if you spent that time reaching out to 10 people and purely looked at the companies that you want to work for, that you're going to be the right fit for, you would have ultimately a 100 times more better chance to be considered. So you have to take this from a research perspective, a pragmatic, logical perspective, and not just pray and spray or spray and pray. You can't do that as your job search, because if you really think about it, the job you're going into right now, you're going to spend 80% of your time there. You're going to make sure, or I would hope, that there are people in that company or role around you that you can get along with, where you can improve your future by the skills you build in that role. Now, if you're going to leave that to chance, don't be shocked if you're not happy at work, because a lot of people right now are not happy at work because they left it to chance. So there's another layer to this. Okay, you might be being ghosted for the roles that you shouldn't be looking at. You might be ignored for the roles that you should because you're not doing enough. So let's change the perspective on feeling ghosted to using that as a signal to be more proactive with your approach. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. Costs you nothing, means the world to me, and I'll see you on the next one.